All right, we're going to go ahead and get rolling. So today I am, I wanted to cover, there's a lot of new agents, new licensees. Maya and Aldo, you guys are all fairly new on the licensees, and I'm going to cover, trying to condense down about 7 or 8 years worth of experience into just little tips and tricks that will make your life easier, that will help you to become a stronger agent faster in your world. Okay. So I am going to just launch straight into this because I got a lot of material to cover. So let me share my screen. Does anybody have anything going on or any questions before we get rolling? Y'all can see me or see the agent best practices on here now. Thank you. All right. So let's just dive straight into this. So these are going to seem a little random at times, but we're just going to cover some basic stuff. All right. So let's first talk about your phone. I guess the golden rule is answer the daggone thing. Hey, I don't know how frustrating you find it. I know I do. Whenever you are trying to reach an agent and they are just consistently never able to pick up the phone. I know it happens to everybody when you're busy, you're out showing, or you're on a listing appointment or something like that, you can't answer it. But when you're dealing with somebody for 30 to 45 days, and every single time you call a co-op agent that they never pick up, it can become a point of frustration. All right. So the first order of business on your phone is do your best to answer it at all times. All right. On your voicemail, you need a custom greeting. Hi, this is Jay with Century 21. I'm unable to answer the phone right now, but if you leave me a detailed message, I'll get back to you right away. Doesn't that sound a whole lot better than you've reached 770-298-1234? Leave a message. Unprofessional, incomplete. I would question myself personally doing business with an agent that does not have a personal greeting on their voicemail. Can we talk about a couple other things? I will reach you back, or I will return the call at my convenience. Or here's the other one that can be a little off-putting at times. If you call after 6 p.m., I will return your call 7 a.m. the next day, or after 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. the next day. Again, it may be establishing a boundary, but can also be sending a message, I'm difficult to reach, and I'm going to be a difficult person to work with. You roll the dice and see which way you want to come off to your people. But if you can avoid that by just simply not saying that, that's great. Another personal pet peeve is the voicemail is full and you cannot leave another message for the person because they are so unprofessional or disorganized that they can't even read their emails and delete them off of their email to the point their email inbox voice box is full. Strong dislike on that one. You tell me what you guys think. Can I get a collective amen from everybody on the call right now? Thank you. All righty. I am a strong proponent that everybody, as soon as you start working with somebody, you want to load those prospects or your co-op agents into your contacts list on your phone so that you know now when they call you, it's not just a number that appears, it's their name, and you can evaluate the importance of that call, whether you should take it right now or not. All right. Note to self, guess what? If you're using Moxie and you've got your CRM set up and synced with your email and your phone is synced with your Google Workspace account, guess what? If you put them in your phone, they're going to be in your Moxie. If you put them in your Moxie, they're going to be in your phone. So that solves that problem really, really well. All right. Another great tip is you can either use FMLS or the HomeSnap Pro app to look up a co-op agent and add them easily to your contacts list. Okay. Does everybody know what I'm talking about here? Do you know how to do this? I can't remember. I do. All right. I do have screenshots. Let me go back. I'm going to go to my next slide. All right. On HomeSnap Pro, which is the agent version of HomeSnap, which is free to agents. You don't have to pay for anything. You can get the app, but the HomeSnap Pro version that you can download, you can look up an agent. You can see their entire business here. And you see this section right down here, their deal flow. I just happened to pick somebody that we all know and love very well. And you can see their deal flow, and you can get an idea of somebody if you're dealing with a noob, a complete inexperienced agent that has no production at all, or if you're dealing with somebody that's got some experience. In this case, this might be a little deceiving because Dwayne is our broker and doesn't do much deals, but he has a couple of transactions in here. All right. Let me show you the other thing about this. So now if I'm dealing with Dwayne as an agent, I know exactly what his production is, what his experience level is. I know where I stand in terms of my skill level versus his skill level. It helps you a little bit. All right. Let me show you the other thing on this. Once you look somebody up, add to the address book. I use this so often, y'all. When we get a new agent that comes into our office, I don't open my phone up and type in their name and their phone number and their email address. Too many opportunities for my fat fingers to screw something up. Okay. So all I do is go into my HomeSnap Pro, look up their name, find them, and I come in here and I add to address book, and boom, 2 seconds later, they're in my contacts list on my phone. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. And then know how to share your own contact info to another iPhone users. First off, you got to make sure that your info is correct and all your social media links are included in there. And this is a way to make sure that they're going into your phone. Whereas if you just pass them a business card, that requires somebody to then do a manual process of sit down when they get back to their office, pull that business card out of their office, open up their laptop or their phone and start typing it in. So much easier if you just go to your own contacts list on the phone, share my contact with, Joe Schmuckertel. All right. Any questions on that so far? Okay. Here's another little tip. And I've just added this slide to my presentation. There's also some great little tools like Hey, Hi, Hello, and there's other ones that are very similar. Let me show you something, folks. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. Do y'all see the background screen behind me right now? First off, is the image right way up or backwards? Is it mirror imaged? Is it correct? It's correct? Yeah. Good. For me, it looks like it's backwards, simply because of the way the Zoom happens to work. But that is an image that you get when you have a Hi Hello account that you can use as your Zoom background that's got your Hi Hello QR code on it. So if anybody didn't have me in their phone right now, you can literally, you pull out your phone, use that Hi Hello QR code and load me into your contacts in your phone at this very moment. Fairly cool, right? Nice little piece of tech that also communicates how connected you are with your client base. With if you're doing a Zoom with an out-of-state client, that's a great little tool. All right. I'm moving right along. Sorry, folks. There we go. All right, let's talk about your car. Again, these are very practical applications of our business here. Always have your car clean and clean interior, have it washed on the exterior. Before you start any showings, you want to make sure that you've got a full tank of gas. It is unbelievable to me that granted, I've had to do it. I've made this mistake. You're probably going to make it too at some point, but to have to stop a showing in the middle or on your way to between one house to the other, to have to stop at a gas station and fill your car, it can cause delays. All right. So you know what? Let's have this conversation while we're thinking about it. Do you need to have the fanciest car in the parking lot to be a real estate agent? What do you guys think? My answer is no. All right, just a little tidbit of information. When I first got into this business, I was driving probably a 7-year-old Toyota Corolla with a dented fender. I'm not kidding. Okay, and I was able to produce about $15 million in 1 year driving that car. So you don't have to drive the fanciest car in the neighborhood. It does not have to be logoed up. It certainly can be. There might be some tax benefits to you for doing that, but it's not absolutely necessary. Okay. Um, However, saying that, do people make value judgments about who you are or how successful you are based on what you drive? They sure do. But you can overcome that with the strength of your knowledge, with your charisma, and the intangible factors of working with an agent. Okay. All right. Let's talk about your showing kit. You want to have your showing kit in your car fully stocked, ready to go. What should be in your showing kit? I've listed a handful of items in here. Some bottled waters. I've got 2 great big giant golf umbrellas, golf size umbrellas in my car. If you happen to be showing homes and you're here in the office, we've got a couple of great big giant Century 21 logo branded umbrellas that are in one of our closets over here. Grab one if you need it. If you don't have one and you need it for a showing, grab one. I recommend having 2, simply because when you show up at the home and it's raining and you're before your client, you can grab one umbrella for yourself, open another one for your client as he or she is stepping out of the car door, and you walk them to the front door under your umbrella. Okay. Do I need to say anything more? You got to have some toilet paper. You might be visiting a vacant house. I think I've told this story before. I've actually had to let a client go into the woods behind in a vacant property that we were looking at land. Granted, it was like 20 acres of land. There wasn't anybody nearby, but if I hadn't had that toilet paper, it could have been ugly. All right. Some face mask. We are living in the post-COVID world. There are still requirements that for some showings, if you have a person that is immunocompromised, they may have requirements that you absolutely must wear a face mask. So have those. Also, hand sanitizer wipes. Either the wipes or the gel, whatever. I find both to be helpful. You may want to have some snacks. All right. If somebody is, glucose intolerant or whatever, or what's that, hypoglycemic? Is that the word I'm looking for? Have some snacks. People are a lot more comfortable when their tummies aren't growling, and they can view more houses under those circumstances. And lastly, if you are showing with a bunch of kids, if your family's got kids, you will be the master of all masters, the real estate agent of choice, if you can bring some coloring books and crayons and anything that would entertain those children. Okay. Any questions on the showing kit? Another little tip is now that you've got all this stuff together, I would buy one of those little Rubbermaids, something like that at Walmart or Big Lots or wherever you shop, and put all of this in there. Just keep it in there. That keeps it from rolling around in the trunk and getting disorganized. God forbid if you have to trade cars with your spouse one day because the one's going into the shop, all you got to do is grab it out of the back and move it into the other car. All righty. Now, continuing on showings and showing feedback. I am a big proponent of using the showing time cart to generate an itinerary for multiple homes. I think you all should know how to do this. If you don't, it's beyond the scope of what we can cover here, but I would love to show you how to do multiple showings on there if you need it. And once you have multiple, 4 or 5 homes loaded on the itinerary with the travel times in between, I'd love for you to send that itinerary to your client prior to that first home. Generally speaking, I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, we're going to see these 3 homes. Here's the itinerary. I'll meet you at the first house. Okay. When you arrive at that first house, you're going to hand that client a printed copy and a pen. so that they can use it to take notes. All right. It's pretty simple. It's pretty clear. Let me tell you that if you're showing multiple homes in a day, once you get past that maybe fourth, fifth home, three, everybody has the ability to retain visuals and things in their head. But once you get past 4, 5, 6 homes in a day, you get to the end of the day and they're like, I don't even remember what the first one looked like. Okay. So a great technique that I have found is you keep notes. You use literally that itinerary to keep notes on what the client has said during their time with you. So one of the techniques that I use a lot is the number game. After we walk out of the house or after they've seen the house, I will ask them on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being no thank you, never going to buy this house. 10 being move in tomorrow. Where do you rank this house on the scale? A 7? Okay, great. Scratch that down. By the end of the day, I'm going to pull out my itinerary that I've been using all day long to keep notes on. And I'm going to say, all right, we've got 3 5s, a 7, and a 9. What do you think about that 9? Is that 9 a strong enough 9 to put in an offer? Would you, what would it take for that number 9 to become a 10? And that gives you a real good, easy framework for that conversation to take place. Okay. Any questions on that? When you get your itinerary done and you've got everything ready, preload all of the showing addresses into your mapping app, whichever you happen to use. Google Maps is great. Waze is, in my personal opinion, better. You choose, it's whatever you're comfortable with. But I will literally go in, in Waze, I know how it works very easily. You do a plan a trip and you can put 4 or 5 stops in and program the times that you're supposed to be in there. And then it makes it real easy when you're showing a house and you're figuring out, okay, we're leaving this one. Are we on time? How long is it going to take to get to the next house? You can literally pull it up on your phone and you've got a 13-minute trip and you got a 15-minute window to get there. So it's nice. All right. And by all means, do your very best to stay on the schedule. All right. If you've got an itinerary planned for 5 homes and you've got 30 minutes programmed at all 5 of those homes and they take 45, 50 minutes on the first house, you're behind the power curve all day long. So do your best to establish some boundaries with your clients. Hey, folks, I don't want to rush you. But if we've got additional homes and we got a schedule to keep. So do your best to keep that. And if you can't keep it, reschedule those appointments on the fly using your Owing Time app. Sorry for the typo, y'all. But use that Showing Time app to reschedule or cancel an appointment if you can't make it. But by all means, people are waiting. If you have a non-vacant home, an occupied home, somebody has left that house to allow you to show it. If you're not going to be on time or not going to make it at all, at least have the courtesy to let them know. All right. So next we are going to talk about a little bit about your super lockbox. All right. Not much on the super lockbox, but just a couple of little tidbits. A great idea is if you're going to be showing a lot of houses in a day, before you leave the house or before you leave your Wi-Fi connection and go to a cellular connection, update your e-key prior to the day of the showing, so that you've got the up-to-date e-key in your system. I've been in situations where you're out in the sticks and there's no cellular coverage and you need to have your e-key updated if you haven't shown for a while. And you literally have to get in your car, drive down the street, find Wi-Fi signal, and do your update. Okay. After opening the cassette, leave it on the ground outside of the front door. So the cassette is the little black part for any brand new, completely inexperienced agents. It's that cassette, the key goes in. Leave this thing sitting outside of the door. This is, for lack of a better term, this is the international signal to other agents. There's a showing in progress. Go away. Don't bother me. I'm in the process of showing the house. All right. And I'm looking at the question from That's the electronic key. When you open up your Supra, it might say e-key needs to be updated. It's one of the icons on the bottom, and it's real simple. If you want to, I know you're in the building because I can see your background. I'll show you in just a minute as soon as we get down here. Okay. But leaving that cassette outside the front door is the international signal for a buzz off in a showing. And have the courtesy to not interrupt, please. All right. All right. So if you are using, so this is an itinerary. Gosh, I got these slides completely out of order this morning, and I apologize. This is the itinerary that shows you multiple locations, multiple sites, how to go through them. Even the map of what they look like. This is valuable information. And if you hand this to your client, they're going to love it. That way, if you guys get separated, your cars get separated, you always know where to go. All right, now let's talk about the feedback side of showing. I am a big proponent. You always leave feedback. Please do not ignore those messages or the emails that you get for the 2 or 3 days after you've shown a home that says, please leave feedback. It's all about the golden rule. I will tell you, if you are a buyer's agent and you say you never leave feedback, I'm going to tell you, you're probably never been a listing agent, and you probably never will be. When you have a listing, you are absolutely relying on that feedback from other agents to be able to guide your decisions and what your recommendations are to your client. If you don't have that feedback, it's hard to know what to do. So if you want feedback to be left on your listing, then you have to practice the golden rule and do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. All right. Do your best to make that feedback meaningful, valuable. I hate the client didn't like property, or or leaving things blank and just saying not interested or possibly interested. So try to make it valuable. Include both negatives and positives. I rely back on my military experience. We used to have something that we would call a crap sandwich, where you put a negative comment in between 2 positive comments. I try to practice that general rule, and I hope you might find that valuable. All right. And then when you are doing listings, I strongly recommend that you don't use just the standard feedback questions that everybody uses in showing time. You can customize these to your own liking, and I'm a big fan of doing that. So here's where you can, I think the standard thing is only 3 or 4 questions. I've got 5 or 6 or 7 on here, and I've given them more opportunities to leave information. So I'm asking them questions like, did your buyer like the property? What do you think of the price? Please rate the exterior, the interior, cleanliness. Is another showing likely? Is the buyer considering an offer? I think there's one of the other questions is, would you consider showing this to other clients potentially? Things like that. You tend to get more meaningful feedback when you ask the right questions. I am going to jump on my bandwagon and preach this. We probably have heard it many times, but time blocking is absolutely critical for the management of your daily activities. And what I mean by time blocking is putting things on your calendar, activities on your calendar, as if they are an appointment. So I like this. Here's some great examples. And I just pulled this from one of our agents who shared this with me at some point during our coaching sessions. This is what they do on a daily basis. They get up, they study the word, they do their prayers, ride a bike, do their exercise. They're actually doing the things and putting the things that they should be doing during those times in there. And it takes discipline to actually treat it as if it's an appointment. Okay, so if you look at my schedule, you'll see things like CRM maintenance. You'll see blocks of time dedicated to making agent calls, or doing a CMA, or doing a video production, creating a video, something along those lines. All right. Another great tip as a brand new agent is you are going to need throughout your career, you're going to need a well-written biography available. And I'm going to tell you, continuously update that bad boy and have it posted on everywhere, your website, your social media, all of your profile pages on things like Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. Hopefully you've got all of those. If you don't, go get them and make sure you post your biography there so people can know who you are and look you up. I'm a big fan and a big proponent of tracking your own sales. One, you have a record of your own performance. You have an ongoing record of your previous clients. I do not understand an agent that when they sell a home, they don't know what their commission is going to be at the closing table until literally days before. Folks, I'm a anal retentive numbers guy. When I'm even looking at a house, I can tell you what my commission is going to be. The minute I write that offer, I put it into a little spreadsheet that I keep for myself. And I know exactly to the penny what my commission check is going to look like. That may be excessive to you. I don't know, but it helps me. Okay. And I can tell you folks, I have a record all the way back to my very first sale in an Excel spreadsheet. And I've used that to recapture some of my contacts when I'm redoing my CRM. I've used it to create a list of all of my clients and where I've sold. I've used that same address thing to be able to, let me show you something. I created this, stand by, pulling it over. This is a heat map. This is all of my sales that I've done in the last, I don't know, 8 or 9 years in the business. And I created this using my spreadsheet and my record of my performance from tracking my own sales. I just was able to cut and paste the addresses of all the homes that I'd sold into that Google Sheets thing to create a heat map. And it looks great and it's pretty impressive. And that's part of my listing presentation. Okay. I'm starting to run out of time, so I think I'm getting real close here, but bear with me, folks. I'm aggressively going to solicit reviews from my clients. Real Satisfied happens pretty much automatically, but there are others. You want reviews from other sites. Rate My Agent is a new one that's kind of just come onto the board. Zillow, Google, Yelp, all of those places you want to solicit reviews from your clients. Okay. I'm going to skip this right now. There are some FMLS portal notification settings that you can use to monitor your clients if you're using the One Home app within FMLS. I'm going to tell you there's some ways to do this, but even better than the FMLS One Home, even better than this, put them into your Real Scout. It's much better than One Home. And you can monitor all of their activities and everything that they're doing over time. This was literally a screenshot from this morning. And this is one of my clients that's looking at $700,000, $600,000, $700,000 properties in the area. You can also see really fun things like, I unfortunately have the misfortune of setting my wife up on a Real Scout account to look for properties that we might be interested in buying in the near future. And I can see what homes my wife is looking at, and it's a catastrophe. It's a disaster for me because I'm not going to be able to afford anything that she wants. But that is the fun things that we do. All right. One of the last things I'm going to talk about before you ever let a deal die, if you are having some difficulty and a client is threatening to terminate a contract, tap into the staff here. We have over 82 years of experience amongst the brokers on our team. Never let a deal die before we have done everything that we can. There are very creative solutions that we can implement to structure deals in ways that you would never think would be possible, but are completely legal, and we can lend that experience to benefit you and not let a deal die. A great source for content for either your social media or for video or any email marketing is Google Alerts, and I'm a big fan of these. This is literally a screenshot from within my Google that I have Google Alerts set up for housing inventory, for mortgage interest rates. Every morning I have served up to me within my Gmail account articles, materials, things that I can then just go share on my post, or maybe I could use that material to create a great video content or a reel or a short, something along those lines. Should go without saying, as a new agent and a new licensee, you should be taking advantage of regular coaching sessions all the time on our schedules. And then this is my summary, and I'm sorry I'm going 3 minutes late, but I love this. If a client ever tells you, I know people that charge less, I hope that you are confident enough to respond to them. I've got clients that will pay more for my services. Y'all like that one? I like that one. All right. What questions do y'all have for me? Anything? All righty. Anybody needs anything this week or the remainder of this week or this weekend, y'all know how to get a hold of me. Looking forward to working with you. Have a great day, everybody.